Dear friends, we are going to discuss in the chapter 6 of multimedia database. This chapter deals with information related to image indexing and retrieval techniques. So whenever we come across this image indexing techniques, you can see a lot of applications based upon this information. So when you go through the medical field, you can see the doctors, they scan the images and they used to save it in a database or in a server. So when they need this kind of images for extraction or for detection of any diseases, they can get all the information from the concerned database or from the servers. So when you go through this topic, image indexing and how can we retrieve all these kind of images, there are different categories based upon this image indexing and retrieval. So the first is related to the feature extraction. You can see the image feature extraction here. So this is the main purpose behind this image indexing, with four main approaches, like based upon the structured attributes, object recognition, text, and the low level image features. So these are the four main approaches. When you go through the structured attributes, you can see the attributes related to the data types. If it's an image, it is the BLOB, that is a binary large object. So all this kind of database, it can be extracted. And object recognition, how the object can be recognized, in that case related to text, and like low level image features like images with lesser clarity, with less pixel of images. So these are the other main aspects related to it. It comes with the four different approaches. Like the first one is a query based, which are specifically written to this kind of attributes. Then attribute based retrieval, based upon the different features. Features can be in the case of color, or it can be in the case of any type of database. So that is a second model called attribute based retrieval. And the third approach is using free text. Either we can text it and retrieve the information, or based upon the text we can retrieve the information. The fourth is it uses a low level image features, like based upon the color and texture. So you can use this kind of process to index and to retrieve images. And the next is text based image retrieval. So based on the text, so some text can be like a person. So if you take a person, we have a child, can be man, can be woman. So all this kind of related words can also be included in this. Here you can see an image. So this is an image database. You can see number of images, and there is no information about the images. So here you can see view similar images. So through this text only we can know that what kind of images it is. When we click, we get the concerned images. Second is that like the same kind, like text description. So this is other main aspect. When you go to the next concept called color based upon the color, how the image can be retrieved based upon the color. So here we have different color histograms, or H1, H2, etc. Hexen. So the histogram can be different of X and Y axis. And when you go through the improvements, so making the use of certain colors, you can have some million number of pixels here, and each pixel has its own value. Either can be stored in the case of number of bins, either 1 bin or 2 bin, or can have till 300 number of values. And the next is you can find out the cumulative histogram. You can have a histogram chart. You can have an X and Y axis. X axis represents one histogram, and the Y axis represents another histogram based upon the colors. Here you can see making use of spatial relationship. You can see here two images, image A and image B. It shows two different images that have same basic histogram, and Next is related to number of options related to this technique. When you go to this option related to image retrieval, option 1 is each query in the image database is represented by a single histogram. When you go to option 2, the query is based on the two main histogram. One is based upon the query based on foreground and query related to background. So these are the two main aspects. And third is how the background histogram can have its information in the database. And fourth option is both foreground and background histograms can be used, and the user selects a way to be used for these kind of histograms. How can we make use of the color distributions? Like better color distribution can have different color spaces, you can have it. In case of variations, there are different steps. Reasons how this kind of variations are there in image representations. First, it is likely that the definition of the RGB color space should be there. Okay. And then if it is not provided, again we have to check what about the clarity of this RGB kind of colors. Second is image data. It is normally scaled with the image capturing device, which can be called as gamma function value. That is the error correction. Third is images can be taken different illumination to take different kind of images based upon the shape. So far we have seen about the image retrieval based upon the feature extraction and image retrieval based upon different data types. And this is related to shape. How an image can be retrieved based upon the shape. And here, when you go to the shape, these are the main attributes of it: a major axis, minor axis, basic rectangle, and eccentricity. What is the major axis? This is a straight line which can join 2 points and which has a major area. So what is the minor axis? A short distance that is being covered within that particular limit. Basic rectangle, which has its major and minor axis, has its 2 sides. What is eccentricity? This is a ratio of major and the minor axis. So the next is related to invariant moments. So here when you take a digital image with a function f of x comma y with the order of p plus q is being given in this mp equal to functions of x of tau p y comma q f of x comma y. So here the x and y represents the pixel position of each and every image. The next is related to Fourier descriptors. So this is another mathematical perspective. So here these functions are being given to represent all this Fourier descriptor method. Then histogram of significant edges. How can we relate to the edges? So here a histogram is being given with number of interest points. So x3, y3, x4, y4, x5, y5 are different interest points with the basic point starts from 1, 0. The next is related to elastic template matching. So here it is a query parameters with 5 given parameters. The first parameters, it shows how well the query is being shaped in the database, whether it is being indexed or it is being stored in wherever place it can be. So that is the first, and second is, and the third are, it measures the amount of energy needed to achieve the overlap. So energy means in case of voltage or things like that. So last is a parameter measures the correlation between the original query and the query shape. So here you can see region based shape representation. Here you can see a shape that is being represented, and this is a shape with the x and y axis. So this is a major axis and these are the minor axis. You can see the rotation on rotation. So this is a image A with the shape, and the rest of the image is being rotated. When you go for scale normalization, here you can see number of scaling factors with the binary definitions, which has its own image representations. Image written based on texture. So what are the kind of textures that we can retrieve in case of images? The first is persons. Persons Twice is opposite to fine. So you might know about fine grained and coarse grained. So fine grained means which has its own pixel value, which has its better quality, but when you go for this coarse, it is opposite. The image will not look good, the texture and the features will not be to our expectations. Contrast, which can be measured in number of parameters, main 4 parameters like dynamism, the gray levels, with the polarization, with the colors of black and white, and with the areas like sharpness of edges and the beating of light. The next is directionality. It is a global property whether you can choose from any given feature, or it can be measured both in element shape and in the response. Like line likeness. So this is the next parameter. So this parameter is concerned with the shape of the texture element. And the next is regularity. So it measures wherever the texture is regular or irregular. The roughness. This includes whether the texture is rough or smooth. So when you take an image and view it, please take an analyze whether the image is rough or it is being smooth. So when you go to the directionality, we have different image shape with the concentration vector. Whether where the image is being placed, either it is being placed in an irregular shape or it is being placed like regular shape. So these are the other main aspects. So when you go for this image indexing and retrieval based on the DCT coefficients, discrete cosine transform coefficient, we have to take different coefficient values like W1 to W2K. So these 2K windows are grouped into a number of tabs, like different point perspectives with different perspective block, with 2 representative blocks, with different strings, K strings of values, each string which can hold up to 4 bits of value. So while when we retrieve the information, the query that we make can also be represented in the form of K number of strings. So you can have the difference between the query image. So the image indexing based on wavelet coefficients. So here also you can have some wavelet coefficients which can be quantized or it can be discrete, divided into a number of discrete values from 0 to, and the next is image retrieval based on model based compression. And different models, either it can be in the case of continuable equations or in the case of representation by a number of parameters. So we have gone through all different kind of perspectives, how an image can be retrieved, how it can be indexed. In a database, all the images should be indexed. So without indexing the images, it's much more difficult to extract the contents. So my dear friends, this topic, when you go through this topic, it is mainly depending upon how the images are being indexed and how you can retrieve those kind of images through different parameters, through different kind of databases, through different perspective, like in case of, it can be represented in case of different histograms modeling and with different edges in the shape. So these are the different perspectives.